When going through the Duke's archives, most players will be preoccupied exploring the level, finding its enemies, freeing Logan, and getting ready to take on Seath. However, if we stop and take a listen to the archive's ambience, we can hear something rather haunting. Faint, but audible. Voices. These ghostly voices we can hear can be heard not only in the Duke's archives, but also in the Crystal Cave and when we first enter Oolicile, right before the Sanctuary Guardian fight. But for now, let's focus on the archives, since it's the first place we can hear them. The voices we can hear might be the spirits of the victims that are experimented on by Seath. Seath the Scaleless was born without the moral scales of his ancient dragon brethren. Although he pillaged the primordial crystal from the dragons to grant them immortality, the crystal is weak and fragile, and Seath desired to attain true immortality by any means necessary. This will lead him to conduct twisted experiments within the Duke's archives. He would make crystals grow on people in hopes of replicating dragon scales, and he would turn people into snake men, hoping for the same results. And the most twisted of them all, Seath would send out his challengers all across Lordran to find and kidnap women, to turn them into the Basakas, grotesque abominations that Seath hoped to impregnate the birth an everlasting dragon. The faint voices we hear could be those of the many people that suffered cruel fates by the hands of Seath. As for the voices in Oolicile, they could very well be the spirits of the people of this once prosperous land who have lost their lives to the abyss and its corrupted monstrosities. We can hear these voices in 3 different areas in Dark Souls 1, but what are they actually saying, and where do they originate from? Well, it's very difficult to decipher what they're saying exactly, due to the voices whispering on top of each other, and the other ambient sounds that are going on in the background, but we can try and guess what the voices are saying. And just a side note, I'm only going to mention what I can hear from these voices myself. Of course, everyone's going to hear this audio differently, so let me know what you guys think these voices are saying in the comments. With that being said, let's get started. The first word we can make out sounds like they're saying dragon. The voices could be referring to Seath, and possibly calumny for the voices in Oolicile. The next sentence we can make out sounds like it's saying they made a mistake. This could possibly be from one of the many people Seath imprisoned in the archives for his experiments. And the next one we can make out, I find to be the most interesting. It sounds like they're saying the demon or the demons. The voices could be referring to Seath or the blowheads as demons, but while doing research, a lot of people online hear the voices saying the demon's soul. Alright, let's take a step back for a moment. The voices we can hear in DS1 probably aren't supposed to mean anything. They are probably just mashed up audio files lowered to give these areas a more creepy atmosphere. Although what we can hear from the voices could relate to Seath or Oolicile, what I haven't mentioned yet is these voices can be heard in both Dark Souls 2 and in Bloodborne. If these voices were meant to be used for just these areas, then they probably wouldn't be reused in the other games. But besides that, I still want to figure out more about these voices and where they possibly originated from, and there's 3 likely theories for them. Number 1, they could just be random gibberish of different audio files. Number 2, the voices could be in a different language. Although Dark Souls uses English voices in the Japanese version, the devs at FromSoft could have used samples from Japanese or different languages for the voices. Although they could be in a different language, the voices still could be just random gibberish. And lastly, number 3, the voices could be reused audio files from Demon Souls, more specifically from the Maiden in Black. The voices sound very similar to the Maiden, and the voices saying demons could be a sample from her audio.
I shall await thine return, slayer of demons.
This isn't the only instance of FromSoft reusing audio assets from Demon Souls, because the challengers we can find in the archives reuse a reverse sample of Ridiel's audio.
I must retrieve an article from my corpse.
With all that being said, I don't believe these voices are supposed to mean anything. And yes, I do believe they could be the sea spirits of the archives in Oolicile, But what the voices are saying and their possible origins are a different story, because they were probably just reused audio assets from either Demon Souls or some other audio source. I wanted to make this video to not only do my own take on the subject, but to possibly reopen this investigation to the voices and figure out where they came from and what exactly they're saying. If you guys have any more information about these voices, please let me know in the comments. And if I get any new updates about them, then I'll happily do a follow-up video to hopefully close this case for good. And with all that being said, hope you guys enjoy this video. Lately, I've been working on short videos for this channel while I work on my much longer iceberg videos, because I don't want to keep you guys in the dark for 1 or 2 months while I work on my longer videos. Speaking of which, if you guys watched any of my Dark Souls 2 iceberg, then you guys already know I'm working on the Bloodborne iceberg. And just to say, I'm having an absolute blast playing it right now, especially coming from the slow, sluggish combat of Dark Souls 2. I'm enjoying the fast-paced gameplay of Bloodborne. Now, with me still working on scripts and capturing gameplay, the Bloodborne iceberg will probably not be done for a little bit, because I want to make sure it's not half-assed and rushed, and it's up to mine and your guys' standards. But while I work on it, I'll still post more short videos to hold you guys over in the meantime. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and as always, love y'all, peace, and remember, don't you dare go hollow.